Okay, welcome everyone to the BBSim and Scalability meeting for April 2nd. We have 3 items on agenda. Before that, just a reminder that the video is recorded, so be mindful of what you share during the meeting. The first item, I just wanted to give a quick update on the scale test. There are no big differences in the numbers. Everything is pretty stable. I created this view with the trend of the various jobs. So you can see that everything is pretty stable. These 2 jobs that were previously fading are now consistently passing, and they are for 500 ONUs and 1024 ONUs. So those numbers are reflected in these 2 lines, and I think they are very good looking numbers with 82 seconds to activate 500 ONUs and 200 seconds to activate 1024 ONUs. And as you can see, the bills are fairly stable for the 512 numbers. They are not that stable for the 1024, but is a great improvement compared to where we were a couple of weeks ago.
Was there a significant change that made them go from failing to pass, or?
Yes, the significant change was that we started basically rebooting Kafka before every run. Because we noticed that when we were using partitions, there were in some cases some messages lingering in the topic that were confusing the adapter.
Okay. All right.
Now,
thanks.
Yeah, we are not seeing this issue when running with a single partition on the topic. That's why I haven't reported it anywhere or debugged it further, because we are moving toward the direction of having 1 topic per adapter, so we shouldn't be seeing this issue.
Was there I know there was chatter on Slack or something about the messages left on the queue. Is there a JIRA opened about that to see if that needs to be addressed?
No, I haven't opened a JIRA because I've not seen this bug when running with a single partition.
Okay.
So it may be just a case we never addressed because we never used it and we are not planning to use it in the future. So
right.
If just a few people are aware of it, but I don't think we need to address it just for the sake of address it. If it comes back, we'll address
it. So Matteo, are we in those tests, are we using partitions and multiple ONU adapters, and then we just restart Kafka every single instance?
Yeah, that's correct. These last 2 tests are running with 8 OpenONU adapter using the same topic and 8 different partitions, basically a set of image built from the patches that Serkant made. As soon as we are ready to try out the single topic per adapter solution, I'll move this job to test back.
Okay, perfect. At least it gives us a good idea what we can do with Kafka with multiple partitions.
Yeah, I guess we'll see pretty similar numbers when we adopt the different solution. Just should make our life easier with adapter restart.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks.
Sure. Is there any other question on the scale job or the numbers?
That's a pretty good improvement.
Yep, I agree. Seems like we're getting closer to the target we have. Okay, the second thing we have on the agenda is the OpenONU Scale. I don't have a full name for this story, but this is basically what we discussed last week to create a mapping between an ONU adapter and a Kafka topic. We have a few JIRAs available for it. I haven't created a dashboard yet. I'll probably bug Zach to point me later today, but there is a BBSim and Scale for 2.4 filter that will bring you to all the issues that are tagged with this epic and they are still open. And we started tracking all the work that is needed to be done to support the new solution to horizontally scale the OpenONU adapter. We are almost ready with the first 4 items, I believe. We're just missing one piece in Volta LibGo that Ken is working on before being able to make the to merge these patches and start making few tests to implement these 2 stories that are required to complete this scalability.
Yeah, regarding that Volta lib changes, I have a change. I'm testing it. I'm going to submit it today, like mostly work in progress, because we'll have to do. There's a number of integration that we have to do across, and one that's passed, and I will just submit it the proper, because I still have to do some cleanup there, but it's the APIs and everything that are required will be there, and those are working today.
Okay, yeah, that would be great. So we can coordinate on Slack later today.
Yeah.
Great. Is there any other questions? I'll take that as a no. And the third and last item I wanted to throw on the plate and start discussing is the need to support Deutsche Telekom and Tar Telekom workflow in BBSim. As you all know, there are a few significant differences in how the subscribers are managed across the different workflows. So I started a document that tries to summarize what those differences mean for BBSim. Is still far from being complete. So let me highlight this work in progress. But I tried to capture what are the differences between the way the subscriber tags are managed. For example, in AT&T, we have a single S tag per OLT, and the C tag is incremental for each ONU. We'll eventually have to change this a little bit once we introduce support for multiple unis in BBSim, because at that point the C tag will have to be unique per uniport. Now it's unique per ONU, as there is an assumption that it's one ONU, one active uniport. In the Deutsche Telekom case, we'll need to have an incremental S tag per ONU, while the C tag is always the same for each ONU device. The Tar Telekom is probably the more complicated case here, because we have a single S tag for each OLT, but then each subscriber has multiple services with different C tags. Some of these C tag and S tag combination are the same for each service regardless of the subscriber, while for the high-speed internet, the tag has to be unique. So I tried to summarize the tag management down here in this scheme. as we see, the AT&T and DT are pretty straightforward. Stark Telecom has this HSI service for each uni that has a unique combination of tags, while for other services like voice over IP or video on demand, the tags are the same for each subscriber, and I believe that the traffic is then categorized given the MAC address that is associated with the pipe. Any question or any concern about introducing these kind of changes in BBSim?
Just to let you know, Matteo, we're going through the same cycle in the actual tests that we have for hardware, because some of the changes need to be done, and they are similar for the test for the hardware too.
Yeah, I believe this is configuration that needs to be in BBSim and in the hardware, and the test needs to care about it.
Yeah, and there's also another document that is in the multi-tcont folder that might have there's better diagrams than what you have. I can post it on the chat if you want.
It should be, if you have it in the chat. Yeah, this is the one that that I was looking at to create my my summary.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah, so this is way more detailed, and it has a lot of details that BBSim doesn't really care about because they're hardware specific. That's why I summarize it in this way, because the only thing that BBSim needs to know is the CNS tag to tag packet with. All the conversion that happens in the hardware, we don't really care in the emulator.
Yep.
So similarly, to manage the CNS tag in different way, the way the subscribers are authenticated is different. For example, in the AT&T case, we use EPOL, and we don't use it in the Deutsche Telekom and Serkant Telecom work case. So this will most likely stay the same in the AT&T workflow case. And it will need a change in the ONU state machine to allow a transition from the ONU to be enabled to start the skipping EPOL. There is one thing that I want to investigate a little more here, because I remember some discussion we had last week that I believe we always tested authentication sending out untagged packet, while the RGs that AT&T use actually send packets with a single tag, and that tag I think is 0. So we may want to do the same in BBSim, but I'll go back to that. In the same way for DHCP, I believe what we have now for AT&T will work for Deutsche Telekom too. Andrea, can you confirm that the DHCP process for Deutsche Telekom is the same as for AT&T?
We don't, yeah, the only thing is that we don't even relay it to ONUs. So we just send the DHCP packet out, and it gets all the way up to the backbone and comes back, and ONUs doesn't touch it. So there's no DCPL2 relay. So yeah,
okay.
Maybe, is that?
So it's not required at all in BBSim because it's purely data plane traffic.
Yeah, exactly. Amit, is that correct? Sorry, I thought Amit was on the call. Apparently he's not. But yeah, no, it's purely.
I'm there.
Oh, sorry, Amit.
Yeah, sorry. There's a problem on the mic. Yeah, for the DT use case, DCP packets are not related to ONUs. That's correct.
Okay, so basically the only thing DT will use BBSim for is to test the ONU activation, unless it supports data plane traffic, because nothing else is done.
Yeah, so ONU activation and then ensure that the flows are programmed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at this point, you don't really care about which tags are used, because you're just receiving flows, but BBSim is not sending out any packet.
But I would keep that there.
Yeah, this is also a very simple change to do, so it's not a big deal. We can start implementing it in with the assumption /hope that will add data plane support to BBSim at a certain point.
Yeah, and just FYI, usually the tag that the ONU sends out is 7. So just if you want to hard code it to something valuable, it's 7.
I kind of have noted in my diagram. Okay, anyway, I don't think I'll hard code it, because we already have a flag to specify which tag you want to start from. So you would probably be able to pass in whatever you want. Well, for Stark Telecom, the DHCP process is a little more complex, because all of the different services will have to obtain an IP, and the process is described in detail in this document that Serkant wrote. Basically, if I understood correctly, we'll receive multiple DHCP flows, one per service, and we'll have to send out DHCP packet accordingly to the CNS styles that are dedicated to that service. Is that correct, Serkant?
Yes, correct.
Okay, but do we have any requirement on the order that we need to send the DHCP offer packets out, or it doesn't matter, any service can require an IP at any time?
Actually, yes, we need to send it orderly. So when you have the required flow for the service, we need to send the DHCP discovery packet. For example, okay, a subscriber may not have all the services, so we need to know if the subscriber will have the flow or not.
Yeah, we need to wait for a certain flow to send a certain pair of tags. But apart of that, it doesn't matter if we send a request for HSI before voice over IP, according that we got the flow in that order.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that.
No problem.
Then another thing that is not considered yet in this page is IGMP. There is preliminary support. In BBSim. It's currently being tested, so we'll wait to test it before making changes in that area. But I believe that IGMP will be a pretty similar setup for all the use cases.
I think, yeah, similarly, when we have the IGMP flow, we need to send an IGMP join.
Yeah, okay, so that will
to the best of my knowledge, and again, Amit, please confirm me or if I'm wrong, DT doesn't care about IGMP. So
okay.
Yep, you're correct.
and the same applies for multicast. DT doesn't care.
Okay, thanks, Andrea.
It's a pretty good workflow.
Hmm?
It's a very good workflow. It is workflow.
The Deutsche Telekom, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best thing we can implement.
Yeah.
Okay. This was everything I had for the meeting today. So if there isn't anything else that we need to discuss, we can all get some time back. Okay, I guess this means we're all done. Thanks everyone for joining. Talk to you over the Slack or next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.